Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session that I am delighted to be hosting with you, Dr. Saida. So, let me start by talking about what we want to talk about, which has been dominating conference season over the past few years, AI. So, at Visa, generally, globally, Visa has been dominating the scene, obviously, when it comes to AI and implementing AI. But when it comes to the GCC in specific, a region that you're heading, how is the implementation process when it comes to AI? Where are you deploying it the most? And what are the opportunity pockets when it comes to the deployment of this new tech?
Thank you. Look, that's a very interesting question. And you're right. AI is top of mind for so many of us. I'm pretty sure most of us in this room have used AI today. Yes? Yes? Exactly. We all live and breathe and day to day AI, AI, AI. And what we don't realize is while we're talking about the potential of AI, it's actually here. It is here today. We are using it day in and day out, and we may not even realize it. It is something we at Visa think very deeply about. We see a lot of opportunity. We also see some risks that need to be managed, and we are constantly thinking about the two. So how do we use it? Let me give you a couple of examples, right? So from our point of view, we think AI can be used for driving our business. So with our partners, what do? We work with our partners, we work with our friends, and we say, okay, how can I help you design a better product? How can I help you work better with your cardholders? How can I help you provide better offers? All of that powered by AI. On the other hand, we also use it for a lot of fraud protection. So every single time you make a transaction on your Visa card, anybody wants to guess how many parameters are extracted from that transaction?
Hundreds, millions.
100 plus, that's right. Every time you tap, 100 different data fields are taken. That goes to an AI model. That model creates a probabilistic view of whether that is a good transaction or not, comes back. That is basically, in simple words, keeping you safe.
Right.
And we've been doing that for almost 30 years. So AI is something top of mind. AI is something we have invested more than $10 billion in over the last few years. We see the opportunity, we see the risks, and we will continue to lead the way.
Right. And before I get to the specific of the UAE where we are today, because I want to tackle a question on the environment that sort of fosters AI in this country. But the downside risks, it's something we don't talk about very often when it comes to artificial intelligence. And I've been, in Abu Dhabi Finance Week over the past couple of days, and we spoke about Davos earlier, and everyone talks about how great AI is.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your line of business, what are the biggest downside risks that are not oftentimes talked about by people?
So there are a few. I think the best part of AI is everybody has access to it. The most dangerous part of AI is everyone has access to it. So what you see, so how many of you have seen over the last years, right, a message that says your Emirates ID is expiring or your passport or something? But when you read that, it's very easy to say, la, that's fake.
No, I know people who fell for it, so.
Right? It's going to unfortunately get better and better. The way people use AI to reach out, the way people use AI to communicate, all that unfortunately is getting more and more sophisticated, which means as consumers, we have to be even more vigilant. We have to be even more on top of things. So I think that's one big area in which AI is making things a bit more difficult because it's easier to basically spoof someone's identity if they're not truly on the lookout. I think with AI, there are many other risks involved. Let's assume for a moment there's no bad intent, all good intent. AI is as good as the data.
Right.
And a lot of the data has inherent bias in it, right? There are experiments out there that if you ask AI to complete a sentence and you write a sentence, there is a doctor, the doctor is walking. There is a nurse, the nurse is walking. AI will say, there is a doctor, he is walking. There is a nurse, she is walking.
Right.
Right? Again, it's just risks of bias. So there are many elements, and it's something that needs to be thought about very, very deeply.
Moving on to investment opportunities. Now, we are in the UAE, which houses an AI powerhouse in G42. There is other examples of that in the region, in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. But when we talk about investment pockets when it comes to the region, and not just in AI and fintech, wider technologies, digital assets, where do you see those, and where is Visa deploying capital in the region?
So Visa is deeply invested in the region. Today, we serve about 86 markets in Central Eastern Europe, Middle East, and Africa that is based out of the region. It's the largest and the fastest growing market that we have is being serviced out of the region. We have hundreds of employees here. We have recently announced, actually, 2 days ago, that we are setting up a new subcluster in or a region in Saudi that is going to oversee Bahrain, Oman, and Saudi. So we are continuously looking at growing and investing in the region. We have partnerships with a lot of the central banks and the governments on capability building and strengthening what we do. We have partnerships with for example, with Dubai Police on safety, security. I'm sure everybody sees a lot of the stay secure messages that go out. So it is a very deep partnership that's been there for many, many years and will continue.
So when it comes to digital money or digital assets in Abu Dhabi and Dubai and the wider region, it seems to be moving, that sort of asset class seems to be moving at a really fast trajectory. Do you worry at all about the speed at which it is moving versus where regulation is at today?
Yeah. I think digital assets is where the future of money movement is headed. That's clear. And I would even say the way the UAE is regulating that is exceptional. If we just go back, I mean, it's been, 15, 16, 17 years since the first digital assets landed on the scene. Their usage has been going in one direction. And not regulating, in my opinion, is one solution, but I would ask, is it the best solution? If I turn and if I look and if I see what's happening in the UAE with ADGM, with VARA, right? I mean, this week, ADGM announced licenses with Circle, with Binance, right? I mean, some amazing, amazing, amazing steps forward. I think that's the future. That's the future, to work hand in hand and to figure out what are the guardrails, what is the ecosystem, and then move forward from there, because there is demand for this. And if there is demand, then it is incumbent upon us to provide responsible, compliant solutions.
Now, you mentioned the hundreds of people that work at Visa just in the UAE, and there are obviously thousands globally. I think the question towards, is AI going to cut jobs? Am I going to lose my job because of AI? Is getting a little tired, because that was a question that we used to ask when AI became such a big topic. But let me rephrase that question and ask, what facets of your business do you see AI being deployed at and upscaling people's jobs, or cutting costs, or making jobs easier, faster? And ultimately, where will it cut jobs?
Yeah. Let me check my crystal ball. Look, I think you're right. With the advent of any new technology, there is a shift. There is a shift, there is a change in what people do, how people do things. How many people here woke up with an alarm clock today? I did, right? Many of us did. If this was a few centuries ago, we would have probably, and the alarm clock was just invented, there would have been a strike outside because there were people called the waker-uppers who would be saying, hey, technology is bad, you're taking away my job. And they were right for that time. But every single time there is new technology, there is change. There's no two ways about that. I think this technology is very, very powerful at certain things, at taking a lot of smart, repetitive tasks and just automating a lot of them. And it is incumbent upon us to retool ourselves and to think about, how am I going to better learn and leverage this technology? So I'll give you an example. I spent 5 hours this week on Zapier. Anybody uses Zapier here? It was one of my first times where I actually sat down and spent a lot of time on it. And I said, I want to code and figure out how to create a news digest for myself so that it'll give me exactly what I want. Because what I find so frustrating is if you get the same article but 5 times. I wanted to do away with that. 5 hours, I went through it, I figured out how to do it. It's uncomfortable. It's challenging. And so many times when you're doing it, you're like, can I, let me do something else. So I think that is the opportunity, but also the threat that AI presents. There will be retooling required. There will be a lot of repetitive jobs, smart jobs that are going to not be done away with, but I think there will be more efficient ways of doing it. As long as we retool and as long as we keep building our capabilities, I think there will be a lot of room and a lot of economic growth with change.
And when it comes to women in specific, because this is, after all, an event about women in finance, and we talk a lot about where women stand when it comes to job opportunities, but when it comes to AI enhancing, or if you were upscaling the role of women in the job place, how do you see that?
Look, I think women, from what I have seen, are exceptionally resilient. Not to take away from anyone, but women are exceptionally resilient. We are good at adapting. We are good at change. And the next few years will be times of a lot of change. So I think just from the way women are wired, it's something we are ready and very able to deal with. There's always the threat that either because of data or because of lack of awareness, or frankly, even because of lack of being pushed, we may become complacent. But I would actually say that there is an opportunity right now. There is an opportunity for each and every one of us to retool, to push ourselves and to grow. What we were just talking about earlier. It's so easy to stay doing what you're doing. But that's not where you truly grow and where you truly shine. So this is an opportunity. It's an equalizer. It's a way for each and every one of us to say, what more do I want to do? And take a chance.
Right. We've got about a minute left, and this is rather a philosophical question to end with. But I've been thinking about this, especially over the past 4 days. And when it comes to AI adoption or new technology adoptions, in 10 years' time, what do you think failure would have looked like if we misuse AI or new technologies when it comes to digital payments, digital money, or assets?
I think failure will be if we don't proactively shape the future, but let the future be shaped by other forces. That, to me, would be a true missed opportunity. I cannot think of a better time and a better place in the world where the future can be shaped, where the future can be driven and the future can be written, then here, right now. So to me, that is what I would look at. Let's shape the future together.
Those are wise words to end with. I see the screens flashing. But thank you so much for your time today, and thank you to the audience for listening and to the Atlantic Council team for inviting us over.
Thank you.
Saida, thank you.